I was born and raised in Singapore. I lived with my parents and my older brother and my younger brother. We were, in a sense, quite a close-knit family. My father would take us out to the beach during the weekends to have picnic, and we would swim there. My mom is a very good cook, and we have special dinner on Friday night every week. My brother is 2 years older than me. We are quite close. After graduation, I went on to work in an airline industry. At that time, my paternal grandmother, she was diagnosed with lung cancer, so I wanted to spend more time with her. So I decided to quit. Then I took a small break. I went to Hong Kong with one of my friends.
喂，林大夫嘛，昨晚送进来那位病人怎么样了？啊？怎么会这样子啊？哦，唉，这真令人担忧。对了，这2天我也不太舒服，早上还发高烧呢。谢谢你关心啊，电梯来了，不跟你多说。
Wait. Sorry.
You didn't miss it.
Yeah, where should we go? We could go eat at that place your friend recommended.
Oh, the dim sum one?
Yeah.
Cool, I love dim sum.
Where do you want to go after? We could go shopping maybe. Like, see some handbags, some shoes.
I don't really like to shop.
During my last day, when I was coming back to Singapore, I fell sick at the airport. For a few days, I was sick.
Esther, you didn't even finish your dinner tonight.
I have no appetite.
That cough doesn't sound good. Are you still having that fever?
It's just a normal fever, Mom.
You should get medication.
Actually, I didn't really think much of it because I thought it was a normal fever and it would just go away. I didn't like seeing doctors, so I would just let it recover on its own. After a few days, it didn't recover, and we were on our way, my family and I, we were on our way to visit my grandmother in hospital. So my mom was saying that might as well we see a doctor there and get some medicine. So we went there and the doctor checked on me, and probably he found some abnormality in my breathing, and so he took a chest x-ray.
You see these white patches? We need to investigate what is this. How long have you had this cough?
A week?
Have you been travelling?
She just came back from Hong Kong.
Why? Is it anything serious?
I don't know yet. It's not quite your common fever. It may be a case of pneumonia. I'll recommend that Esther get warded tonight so we can observe her.
Warded? So serious?
I met Esther when she was admitted to Tan Tock Seng Hospital in March 2003. She had come in for pneumonia, which is essentially an infection of the lungs. At that point in time, we had no idea what SARS was. SARS was still very much an unknown entity. In fact, the term SARS had not even been coined yet. So we treated Esther for what we thought was an ordinary pneumonia. Little did we know that this ordinary infection would later become the global epidemic.
Actually, I didn't really think much of it because I thought it was a normal fever and it would just go away. And during the first few days, my friends came to visit me.
Thank you. So many presents.
Yeah, he's over here.
One of my aunties, pastors, came to pray for me.
Hi, Esther.
Auntie. Hi, Uncle.
Hello, Esther. How are you? This is for you.
Thank you.
You look better than yesterday. Look, I brought you a Bible It's always good to have something to read.
Thank you, Auntie.
And this is Pastor John. I told him about you and he offered to come and visit you so that he can pray for you.
Hi Esther, how are you? I'm Pastor John here. I'm glad to visit you with your auntie and uncle. And I'd like to pray a prayer for you. Come, let's pray for you. Dear Lord, you know my friend Esther so much better than I do.
It was only the next day when I wanted to go take a shower on my own, then I started feeling very dizzy and I had to wait for a nurse to bring me back to the ward. And after a few days, my condition sort of deteriorated and I was transferred to the ICU. My friends, and my relatives, they started falling ill as well. And my mom, my dad, they were admitted to a hospital. Also, my uncle, my maternal uncle, my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, and even the pastor who came to pray for me was admitted as well. And when I was in the ICU, I was semi-conscious. I didn't know what was really happening. And the people I come across in the hospital was the doctors, the nurses, and they were all dressed in the gown and the gloves and with the mask on.
We're going to increase your dosage of antibiotics today. You'll be fine.
We are going to draw more blood samples from you. Just relax.
We had to be fully clothed in PPE, which is a personal protection equipment. And this included a face mask, gown, gloves, and even protective equipment for our feet. There were many of us who actually stayed away from our families. Some of us stayed in hotels for the entire duration of the problem.
And after that, I was transferred to another ward when I got better. And at that time, I remember I stayed for about 2 nights with my mother. And she was there. She looks quite alright still.
Well, okay, have a good rest. The nurse will come and see you later.
Okay, let's continue. Mommy, it's your turn. Yes. One hand.
Okay lah.
No, you have to practice so that you can beat Pa.
I'm as good as your dad.
Not really. You still have to practice.
Hey, who is that guy that visited you that day?
What guy? Don't have guy. I don't know what you're talking about.
That handsome guy.
Oh, which one? Where got handsome guy?
That handsome guy.
Don't have handsome guy. Where got handsome guy?
I know your taste, okay? You don't like ugly guy.
No, where?
After the 2 days I stayed with her, her condition worsened and she got transferred to the ICU. My father was already in the ICU as well.
The atmosphere was very tense initially, but we quickly settled down into a routine and did what was expected of us. Because SARS was caused by a relatively new virus, very little was known about it. So there was much uncertainty. And I think this uncertainty added to the sense of unease that we had.
At that time, I was pretty confident that they would recover because I got better from the ICU and I didn't think it was very serious. I mean, though they need intensive care, but I didn't knew it was so serious. Yeah, so the doctors arranged for me to go to the ICU to visit them, and that was the first time I see my father lying on the bed, motionless and unconscious. And I was filled with a lot of emotions. Though we were a close-knit family, I had a lot of expectations on him to provide for the family. He quit his job on and off, going around to search for jobs. So I thought that he wasn't providing enough for the family, and my mother, as a result, had to go out to work.
Thanks, Mom.
I didn't really talk to my father about this. It was just like a silent defiance.
How are you? Getting better?
I'm okay.
I knew he loved me,
Just going out.
but He didn't live up to my expectations.
Pa. Pa.
It was the first time I really see him up close after a long time. And from there, I really saw him like he has really aged a lot. And but I didn't take notice of that before.
I'm so sorry this has happened to you. This is all my fault. This is my fault. Pa. Pa. Pa, I need you to wake up, Pa. I need to tell you something. Pa, I need to tell you something, Pa.
I cried for a long time there, and I repeated apologizing. I kept saying sorry to him.
I'm sorry I was rude to you, Pa. Please wake up, Pa. I want us to be together again, Pa. Who's gonna take care of Mom? Who's gonna take care of me?
My mother, when I visited her, so I was just there. I didn't know what to do. Seeing her as a healthy person, and she's now in the ICU because of the disease that I spread to her. I really blame myself.
I gotta lose you, Ma. Please don't leave me. I'm gonna get better. I believe that. I must believe that.
The doctors arranged for me to carry on meeting them for a few days, and every day I would go down to accompany my parents for a short while, and I would speak to them, tell them, update them about the news.
If you make the Most High your dwelling, even the Lord.
My auntie passed me this Bible and told me to read Psalm 91.
No disaster will come near your tent, for he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. They will lift you up in their hands, so that you will not strike your foot against a stone. You will tread upon the lion and the cobra. You will trample the great lion and the serpent. Because he loves me, says the Lord, I will rescue him. I will protect him, for he acknowledges my name. He will call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. Psalms 91. Amen. Dear Lord, I pray this evening for my mother. I pray for healing.
Things didn't get better. One night, the doctor told me that my father passed away and told me to go down to visit him.
No! Pa! Pa! No! Pa! No, Papa! Pa! Pa!
The few days after my father passed away, continued to visit my mother every day, and I would encourage her to be strong, and because I recovered, I really hope that she could recover as well, because my father has passed away. I didn't want my mom to go as well, so I prayed very hard to God, because that was the only hope I could cling on to. But after a few days, my doctor came to tell me that my mother has passed away too.
No! Mom! Mom, no! It's not possible! Mom! Mom, wake up! Mom! Wake up! No! I already lost Pop. It's not possible, Mom!
And I remembered, I was kneeling in front of a bed and crying for a long time and asking why did this have to happen to my parents, why did this have to happen to me. I was very sorry that I have spread the disease to them and caused them to die. That day, I cried for a long time, and after that, my brothers and aunties came as well. I remember hugging my older brother, and that was the first time in my life that I hugged him. My family, we were close, but we were never the sort who says I love you or we'll hug each other, but we'll just subtly do things for each other. So that was the first time I hugged him, and I really felt comforted and thought I really needed that because it was a long while since I get to see my family and much more even like touch them.
Feels like I'm all alone inside tonight, and all I have is a distant, silent cry, and I'm leaking through.
I make this pact with God that if my parents recover, I will go to church, I'll be more fervent. But things didn't happen that way.
I'm longing to find those arms that used to hold me.
I was very angry with God, I was bitter with God. I didn't even know whether God is real or not. I just wanted to do away with him and control my own life. Just stop all contact with God.
And I'm leaking through the cracks of my beating, broken heart. You said you'd always be right by my side. So why do I feel so alone?
My maternal grandmother was admitted to, but she recovered. One of my uncles didn't make it. And the pastor who came to visit me, my auntie's pastor, came to visit me to pray. He didn't make it as well. And I knew a couple of doctors and nurses who were infected as well.
When I found out that 2 of my doctor friends had succumbed to SARS, I was absolutely devastated. It was truly heartbreaking, and it was a crushing blow to our morale as well.
And one of them was a doctor who was seeing me, and he was overseas. He went overseas and he got infected as well.
Those were times of deep despair, and I don't think words can even adequately describe how I felt at that point in time. But I was reminded that this virus is no respecter of persons, race, gender, occupation, or social standing.
At that point of time, they have the name SARS. There were a lot of news going on about this disease, and they labeled me as the super spreader and how I spread it to a lot of other people. This disease was really very fatal, and I felt that I felt guilty. I blamed myself. I felt guilty that I had to pass on the disease to them. I felt guilty that I recovered, but they didn't make it. I couldn't understand why all this had to happen. I felt really angry and bitter with God for allowing this to happen, my parents to die, and why not me, since I brought the disease to Singapore, since I went on holiday. I think the public was quite supportive of me. I received a lot of cards and soft toys. In it were messages of telling me to be strong, to persevere on, and telling me that I wasn't to blame for this disease that I brought to Singapore.
No, they haven't told me when I can.
My friends were very supportive. One of my friends lent me a laptop so I could chat online with them, and they would ask me how I was doing. They would encourage me to be strong.
Just surf the internet, read. It's quite boring. No, yeah, okay. If you're busy, go ahead. Yeah. Thanks for calling. Bye.
I felt very lonely still. Yeah, I was in an isolation ward and I couldn't do anything. There was once my aunties, since they couldn't visit me, they were standing at the road opposite the hospital building.
Sorry, you want me to go towards the window? Why? Oh my gosh! Yes, I can see you. Can you see me? Hi.
To me, that was quite comforting, and that was a way of showing their support for me. So, and I guess it was that kind of support that helped me through my stay in the hospital. When the doctor saw that my fever has recovered and my cough has recovered, and they thought my lungs has cleared, so they discharged me from the hospital. And at that point of time, I was still very bitter with God. I still couldn't get over my parents' death.
Esther!
My brothers and my aunties were very supportive of me. They didn't mention anything about the SARS episode. They didn't blame me for anything. But instead, they showed their love and their concern for me through just being normal. Just life carries on as usual.
Back to the kitchen. I will clean some of her clothes.
My brothers, they took care of the administration of the inheritance of my parents, and they didn't really bother me with that. For me, that was a great thing because I didn't want to come into contact with all these reminding me of my parents' death. I was fortunate that I have my brothers shielding me from the media, because at that point of time there were a lot of reporters wanting to interview me.
Hello? Hey, listen. Look, we are still mourning the loss of our parents, alright? So can you please not call again? I hope you respect the need for our privacy. Thank you. Hi. I recognize your number. We've been through this. I told you not to call again, alright? Bye.
My turn. You keep using the middle one.
Your turn.
Hey, Daddy cannot play cheat.
Okay.
Play cheat.
I have more skills, so I take from the bottom.
Your turn. Sure, I understand. Don't shake.
Look outside, I see the rain falling down. Look inside, it seems like no one is around.
I really missed them at that point of time. I thought that I didn't cherish the time I have with them. that I couldn't accept the fact that they were gone so soon.
I see my helpless heart in my helpless head.
I didn't know what to do, what to live for.
Where else can
I felt that I lost all aim or purpose in life.
Feels like I'm all alone inside tonight.
I didn't want to find a job as well. I was afraid that people would recognize and shun me.
And I'm leaking through the cracks of my
And after some time, I needed to get my wisdom teeth extracted. My friend recommended me a dentist near my house. He was quite cheerful, and it was my first time there, so they needed to take a medical history record. And from there, he knew that I had SARS.
Okay, Esther, your wisdom tooth is still in its early stages. I'll arrange for you another appointment. What do you do for a living?
Nothing. I haven't done anything for about 7 months.
Oh, you know it's not good to do nothing for so long at home, right? I was just wondering whether we'd be interested to join my church friends on the trip to the Philippines to help refurbish a center.
But I wouldn't know anyone.
Neither do I on my first trip there. There's a saying that goes like this: there's no real strangers in this world, just friends that you have not met.
So I thought, why not? At that point of time, I just want to get out of Singapore, do something different. I didn't want to face the media, and yeah, I just wanted to get out and not think of anything else. We went to the Philippines to refurbish a student center, do a bit of renovation. I enjoyed myself there, did different things, started making friends with them. And on Sundays, we would go to a church service, and I would have to follow them.
Panginoon, tayo po ay patuloy na sumamba sa Kanya, umawit. Tayo po ay makakaupo na. Panatilihin po natin at damahin natin ang presensya ng Panginoon sa umagang ito. I was reading the bulletin and there was this phrase that said, for God to explain a trial would be to defeat its purpose, calling for simple faith and implicit obedience. That sort of jumped out and spoke to me because I was asking God, why does this have to happen, and why me, and why my parents, and I already made the pact with you, but it didn't work out this way. But why does this have to happen to me? I had a happy family, and all these are taken away from me. Something really was stirring in my heart, and I could feel that God was speaking to me, and it was very real. And for the first time, I experienced this feeling. I remember him telling me to return to him, and at first I rejected. I was struggling. I didn't want to return to him, but his voice grew stronger and louder, and I couldn't fight it anymore and said, "Okay, God, I will return to you." And at that point when I made that decision, I felt that I was at peace. There was this sense of peace that I've never felt before as well, that just came over me, and this serenity that I experienced. And from then, just at that instant, I felt I could get over my parents' death and moved on with life. I felt the trip to the dentist was divine because for my character, I wouldn't go to any place with a group of strangers. And this was an overseas trip to Philippines with a group of people I've never met before. And I think it was the very first time I truly had a personal encounter with God over there in the Philippines. After the Philippines trip, I told God that I was ready to start life anew, to
Hello.
get a job.
I'm fine. I'm just looking for a job. What kind of job? Working with youths? So funny. After my trip from Philippines, I was just thinking of working with youths.
When I first heard that it was Esther Mok, the Esther Mok who brought SARS into Singapore, who was trying to get this job that we have, I hesitated a bit because we lost a good friend, a doctor in our church. I was his pastor for 6 years, and we grappled with that quite a bit. Why him? And then suddenly hearing that Esther Mok, the one who brought SARS to Singapore, was coming and for this interview, it just stirred my heart a bit. But finally, when we gave Esther the opportunity to come for the interview and we listened to her, and I felt that she really had a lot to offer young people who are going through difficulties, those youth at risk and those who have challenges. Esther's story would really help and her life. And so when we put the pros and cons together, we felt that she would be the right one, and until today, no regrets. After working with us for a while, all of us felt that her personality and one of the personality of our volunteers, Kendrick, was quite similar, and so we decided to try to play Cupid, bring them together, create opportunities.
The spark actually began when I met her at her workplace, the youth center, which I volunteered.
And through really a divine encounter, every time we wanted to go on a trip, apparently Kendrick would find difficulty in getting leave.
I asked God if Kendrick was the one for me, then let him be able to go for these recce trips.
Miraculously, that God allowed me to go, and then that's when our relationship actually blossoms.
And I took it as a confirmation that he was the one for me. Because for me, I wasn't looking for a boyfriend, but I wanted to look for a life partner that could spend the rest of my life with. I coached tchoukball with my husband. We started a tchoukball club. I was in the national team together with my husband. It was a very different experience for me because this is the first time I am representing Singapore.
There is a time to live, there is a time to die, there is a time to plant, there is a time to plow, there is a time to kill, there is a time to heal, and in all seasons I will bless your name. fulfilled. There is a time to weep, there is a time to laugh, there is a time to mourn, there is a time to dance, and in all seasons I will bless your name.
The youth that I work with, whenever I tell my story, I hope that they would cherish their parents, they would cherish their loved ones, because a lot of them, they love their parents, but they don't spend enough time with them. They would spend more time with their friends, go home late, argue with their parents because they're not giving them enough freedom.
One of my favorite verses in the Bible is Proverbs 3 verse 5, which is, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding." And I found this verse to be especially helpful during the time of SARS, because SARS was still something that was very much unknown. It was a new virus, and there was little understanding of it. So even if we had wanted to lean on our own understanding, there was no way we could have done so because we didn't know anything about SARS. So I found myself relying more on God and drawing strength from God.
My advice to those who have lost their loved ones is that it's inevitable that people die, but what we can do is not to dwell in the past, not to ask, why did this happen to me? Why does this have to happen? But rather, what can I learn from this? And how can God use me to help others who are also experiencing similar difficulties?
Eternity and all my days are in your hand, and in all seasons I will bless your name. And in all seasons I will bless your name.